This podcast is brought to you by People's Food Co-op, a community-owned grocery store in downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin and Rochester, Minnesota, that promotes local farmers and producers through an emphasis on fresh, healthy, sustainable food. Anyone can shop. Everyone is welcome. For more information, visit them online at pfc.coop. We chatted with artist and musician Paul Hartwig. We discuss his paintings, influences, process for creation, recurring characters, graffiti art, and what's coming up for this local artist and soon-to-be-released album. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is La Crosse Local.
Oh, twilights of midwinter, they are done with the hum of baking bread. And also they are raking with a fond miasmic pall of fossil smoke.
My name is Paul John Hartwig. I was born in La Crosse at St. Francis Hospital, and I've always been into art ever since I was a little kid. I went to Viterbo College for basically the visual arts, painting primarily. Graduated with a Bachelor's of Art degree there. And then I went to TC for an associate degree in commercial art.
You know, looking at your work over the last couple of years, and I've seen it in different everywhere from, coffee shops to cafes. What are some of your influences? Are there painters or music or anything otherwise? What kind of influence?
Oh, just about all across the board. I mean, I really do play a lot of music when I'm painting or I'm watching a documentary, But usually the paintings, my influences are, I would say, stained glass windows, graffiti. That's, just out and about, just walking downtown, taking pictures of the graffiti, being intrigued with the movement of the lines of the graffiti, more or less. Basically, I've just always loved color. So I've always wanted to have something that represented my joy of color. And basically, I get influences from everything from rock music to pop music to just punk, the energy basically that it gives me to basically just project my own ideas and cartoons,
Yeah, I mean, just kind of checking out your work this little bit that I've known about you, I definitely see that like 1980s New York graffiti sort of style, but almost more portraiture, to it as well. So kind of like characters. When you create these pieces, do you work fast, or is it something that you kind of have a series of them that takes some time?
I do work fast. I mean, initially, the start of any painting I do is always fast. That's when I'm getting the bones are put down, the skeletal structure. And then the thing slows down once I get to the point when I'm filling in the details, like all those cross marks and patterns. That slows the process down. But the first part of the process is fast. I just tweak it down to where I'm doing more detailed things, the slower I get at it. But usually it's a quick start to begin with. And I don't really necessarily have any preconceived notions about what I want to do. I might have a loose idea in my head, but I kind of let it just happen. And then I go from there.
Like you said, so your ideas just kind of come free form. Do you have again, kind of like the faces, some of them are a little bit more abstract than others. Do you have reoccurring characters or anything like that? Or is it just?
There might be some shapes or reoccurring mouth shapes or teeth or eyes, recurring in the sense that I like that feel of a swiggle. I might like a gesture or something that I put into a painting that I might want to repeat and explore a little bit more. Sometimes the paintings will give you a suggestion when you're not really thinking about it. And then all of a sudden you see this and you're like saying, oh, I like that. I want to do a little bit more of that shape, but explore it a little bit more in the next painting.
Checking out your page at rivercitygallerylax.com. I definitely see that sort of stained glass component that you mentioned, and it is definitely flowing. Do you consider yourself a graffiti artist or just like a painter in some sense?
I don't consider myself a graffiti artist because I'm doing it for the joy of just doing the work. And I just don't consider myself to be one thing or another. I would rather have the viewers get enjoyment out of making their own stories out of the works. I would just rather have you develop something for yourself as to what you think it's like.
Yeah.
It's like clouds. If you're looking up in the clouds and you're seeing all shapes, just I want to give a little bit of direction, but I want the viewer to basically just play with it and experiment with ideas that they have.
Got to tell your own story sort of vibes to it.
Right.
I'm sure it's been, as a painter, as an artist here locally, it's probably been difficult, over the past 18 months, pretty much for everybody related to COVID.
Yeah.
Was there a process or a time during that maybe gave you some time to work a little bit more, or was it basically a bummer?
Well, it was kind of a bummer when it first started, but I'm kind of a recluse in a way. It's like I do my work in the morning for the job that I do. And then as soon as I'm done with that job, then I just come home and just paint or sketch or whatever I feel like doing. So, I basically I'll go out there and do the socializing, but I really am someone that likes to just keep to themselves,
So what are you excited for, over the next year or two? Is there anything coming up that you've,
I do have an album coming out May 6th. We're still working on it. I have a friend that's over in Europe. He has been a musician for a long time. I just kind of tinkered with some ideas that I had, and I sent him some music files, and he really got into it. So we wound up making an album.
What's that called?
It's going to be called Fire Boot Factory.
Nice.
Yeah. And the band is named Hartwig Skellington.
Sweet.
And it will be out on all the streaming music platforms.
So do you have pieces of that you can blast and just paint now, or is it that far along yet, or no?
They're still working out some of the kinks on it. We had a little bit of a stop on it for a little bit because there was something that was wrong with the music itself. It sounded tinny, is what I was told from my friend, and he said that he was not so happy with the sound. So we put it back into the works and trying to get it to sound like it should sound.
If people want to pick up your work, what's the best place for them to go to, or even find out more?
Right now, it's that gallery. I don't have any website per se. I just have Facebook.
So basically, people can head down to River City Gallery in downtown La Crosse, pick up your work. Is there multiple different sizes, small ones, large ones?
Oh, yeah. There's various sizes, various prices.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.